The update details are here for the new Korean server update. We will very likely get this too for global on Thursday. And well, there's not a lot here. Some Tower of Greed fixes, including a time where you couldn't use skills when you started the floor on water. They've made it so you can't break the floor by moving out of the area, by going to the Amatai house or escaping when you are lifting a relic. They're fixing that issue with the Codex mission, the side Codex, so you should be able to properly complete it. I believe that's this one. Obtaining the reward from your awakening stage on the 5th floor. I don't believe I did it. No, it was only 5 runes. And I don't think I really want to go back, because purifying all the way to that stage means I lose all this progress, and it's just not worth my time. Not if I want to go back up again. Maybe I do it the last day of this season, which we can see here should be the 26th of February. And we should get a new season with new rewards. Hopefully better ones. At least gives them the opportunity to make better rewards. Totally no harm skipping this current season, honestly. They also state here, even if you break through a floor in advance or proceed with engraving or purification, the mission will be completed immediately when corresponding order is reached. Most likely means still the Codex mission here. There are some slight adventure Codex changes, like reducing this cooldown of a debuff you get, removing the increased damage on this skill, and reducing the damage of strike. This basically is just to make it so that newer players can get through the Codex a bit easier. It's still the easiest way to level up in this game. Just do your Codex, it gives you a ton of XP. A slight fix to the Festival of Fire, and some frame rate issues during raids should be addressed. If you had DirectX 12 disabled, it could occasionally crash, so that should be fixed now. And they removed some structures around the castle gate, this being for siege, so it doesn't cause errors with directional and positioning skills. In terms of private housing, they fix an issue where your wallpaper could reset. And finally, when you're obtaining your volcanic ash, collecting it in dirt piles, they've improved the drop rate from 1% to 10%. And that's ultimately it. All we get for this week's update. Again, not confirmed coming to global, but should be this Thursday. Unless they decide it's not important enough and push it back a week. But as stated before, February is looking like kind of a dry month for content for Throne and Liberty. All we can really expect to see is Battlegrounds getting added to War Games, meaning you'll be able to create your own custom Battleground lobby to be able to have some proper practice fights for Battlegrounds. It'll be good if at least you're in a GVG setting and want to be able to practice as a group beating up other people, outside of the limitation of the current Battlegrounds. What is a little bit concerning are all the errors and bugs that they're just not addressing. One that's been here from the very start is still Curse Explosion not properly working against bosses with extra mitigation. But looking through other player reports, there seems to be a new one that cropped up with regards to the Tevent orb not triggering with supernova collapse. If any of you can confirm any of these things I cover now in the comments below, that'd be great. This guy commenting about the Amatoi, the Wandering Youth Genesis, he indeed can no longer be obtained. Basically, since they made the change, we no longer get moonstones with the housing rework. There's reports about the Veiled Concord set not stacking properly if you parry immediately after using control skills. There seems to be a bug with the new cosmetic for housing. The Crystal Veil Curtains doesn't seem to be placeable. If you hadn't noticed, I actually did update the shop from my previous video. We did indeed get this bundle, 1500 Lucent. Does have that pretty cool emote here with the swords. And then also this running animation with the footsteps trail. And then all of this extra furniture, which is pretty cool, ice themed, if you want to create your Elsa's palace. But apparently these curtains don't work, at least for this guy. There are reports I've seen where you can't get detonation mark to stack damage if the target has shields. Similarly, this guy reporting Victor's morale on Greatsword is not working correctly against shields. These things only trigger on direct damage, which just makes it even worse when your targets have over 50,000k shields. And there's honestly much more. but these are player reports. There can always be some user error in them, but it just goes to show some things they just seem to just ignore or just take their sweet time before they do anything about them. But if you are making a report, do your best to make sure you list exactly how it can be reproduced. Some devs not exactly on the ball with even how to play the game, so the more hand holding they can get exactly how to replicate something, the quicker it will likely get fixed. But with that said, thanks for watching. A special thank you to my channel members, and we'll see you guys around.